All right, so I'm sitting here with the MPC KEY 61 looking at one of my most anticipated features of update 2.11, and that's the auto key group function that's in there. So it's kind of like an autochromatic thing, at least that's what I had initially thought, but I just want to look at how it works and maybe some tips for you when using it. So the way that most autochromatic samplers work is they'll recognize C and then just map your samples from there on the keyboard. So it's best to sample the key of C, whatever instrument it is that you're sampling. So I created a pack here of one-shot instruments, all sampled from Vynil. So I'm gonna go in here and load one of these up. Boom. Try that flute there. All right, and go out here. So we got it. All right, so all samples recorded into the MPC will have a root note of C3. So let's take a look at where you'll see that. So if you go into the sample edit screen, and you'll see the root note right here. So this is where you can select it and change your root note. So depending on what your root note is, you will select it here. And by default, they're at C3. So my note is a C3. Now going back in, I'm gonna go into program edit. One thing to note is that all your pad settings from your drum program for that specific note, when you use the auto key group function, which is right here, it will transfer over those. So it'll copy all those settings over into your key group. So you can do your settings afterwards, but I'm going to do them right beforehand so I can take a look at just a couple tips of things that you might want to do. So for most of your instruments, if you want to play them polyphonically, like play chords, you're going to want to set this. And by default, it's set to 16. I'm just going to go over all the way to poly so I can play chords. 16 would be enough, ideally, but I think we have like 128 note polyphony in the MPC. So just set it to poly, and then also right here on this setting, that's going to be set to poly from mono. Also, I don't want my sample to be a one-shot with most instruments. So I'm going to change that from here to note on. So it just plays back when I hold it. There we go. Now this might vary from different types of instruments. Say if I had like an 808 kick drum, I might leave note on, or excuse me, I might leave one shot on and then also leave it on mono, just to have those notes like cut each other off. But for most instruments, I'm gonna set it like this. Just go ahead and hit that button. Now we have a new program. It's no longer a drum program. As you can see, it's a key group program. So now my original note will be played back here on C3. And then I play chords. So there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over to a drum program, and then I'm gonna load up another sample. So as I said, every sample that you record in by default in the MPC, if you don't assign it, if you don't change the root note, it will by default be C3. So what happens if you load something else in? Let's go out here. I have a folder with, it has one-shot key group. So I have samples that are actually in different keys. So let me pick one. Let me load this one up. And we're going to pretend, so if I go out and go to sample edit, I'm going to pretend I don't know what this is, and by default it's going to be at C3. Say I just recorded it into the MPC. So it's actually a D note, but I recorded it in, so it says C3, but I'm clueless to what it is. So let's pretend that I'm trying to figure it out. So what I do is use the new tuner that's built into the MPC with update 2.11. So if we go into menu, then we'll see a tuner up here. And then if I press that note, I'm not actually going to be able to determine what it is because I got to change the input. Right now, what it's monitoring is my voice, and because my mic is going into the MPC, so it's monitoring anything that might be going into the main inputs. Right now it says input 1, so I'm going to change this over to the resample, and then it'll be able to hear what's coming out of the MPC. And then I can press it and then see what my note is, and then go back into the root note and set it there. So as you can see, a D popped up. So now we know what key it's in. So I go back into sample edit and then set my sample to D. So now that my root note is determined, I can go back out once again like I showed you before. I want to set this to poly and set this to poly as well. Turn one shot off, put it on note on. And those are just the basic settings that I would set for my pad, and then turn it into a key group. And now I have a key group spread across the keys once again. This is my original note. So had the root note been C3, my note would be playing here. So as long as you set that root note, it will determine where it needs to place it and then spread it accordingly so that it will be in tune with any other instrument that you're playing, any other plug-in that might be built into the MPC, and all that. So that's it. There we go. That's my quick little overview of how the new auto key group function works with update 2.11 in the MPC. So if you appreciate the video, if you got some value out of it, please do hit the like button, leave a comment, and share the video. Also, if you want to check out the pack that I displayed in this video, it is the one-shot vinyl sample pack. Just a bunch of tones, instrument tones that are one shots that you can put into your MPC and turn into key groups. But it also has the key groups already. So we got a folder of one shots, all sampled in C, sampled to the root note of C for any sampler pretty much. And then for MPC users specifically, I have key groups in here. There's like 30 something key groups already ready to go with some effects that I've thrown on in the inserts and stuff like that. Also a little drum pack that comes with that as well. So you get a little bit of everything. We got some bass tones in there, really dirty stuff, flutes, some horns, pianos, really dirty stuff. So it's not that clean kind of sound that you're looking for at all. So if you want to just add a little flavor into your productions that are really dirty and raw, straight from vinyl, and that's what it is. So you can go check it out, link in the description. I'll also pin it in the comment. And if you want a little discount, type in 3 in the coupon code and I'll get you $3 off. So go check it out. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, stay humble, lift noise, be bold. God bless, and run with your dreams. All right.